Yeah. Like,
Yeah, I think the base is pretty
it's like
stable.
30 pounds. So, like,
It's pretty stable.
The only thing I was, like, testing it earlier, and, like, it does kind of, it wobbles a little bit, but, yeah. So I feel like you can
You
easily.
have to bump it pretty hard.
You do have to bump it pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
The three-peat. Yeah, I'm going to be happy if this turns out good with running the 2 mics. Cause
Yeah, the one I might headbutt a couple times.
That's okay, though. Yeah, I feel like it's worth it.
Or the audio might be just quiet, you know.
Yeah, let's see.
This close at all times.
You could pick up the.
You want to like, yeah, if you look at here and like it turns green when you get a good signal.
So like right now, is it getting a good signal? Right now, is it getting a good signal?
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
Woofty.
So I feel like you gotta like,
I will be right here.
That shit sounds. When you get close to it, it sounds way crisper for sure. But
yeah, for sure.
Well, what was that other? Those other podcasts. That other podcast we did with Jake. Yeah, you were just in the background, just chilling, hanging out with the Bucks game. That was a fun one, though. That was fun. Calling out the score here and there.
That was a long time ago.
First game of the NBA Finals.
Right. That was the first one. I went on to win it. Fucking nuts.
Yeah, Giannis is a beast.
How are they looking this year? I haven't
watch.
been keeping up, but
I don't really watch.
They're third in the East, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's a solid playoff seed.
Right. Packers are doing good this year.
They play tomorrow in a meaningless game.
Really?
Yeah.
They've locked up all that they can lock up, and now they play the
Worst
Detroit
team
Lions, who are like 2-14 or 2-15.
They're
Like
horrible.
Okay.
They're dog shit. So.
Damn.
Yeah.
So it should be a breeze.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yep. I think we have
Nothing.
a first round bye in the playoffs, even at home, and then our next game is at home. So I think we've locked up all that we can.
Right.
Yeah.
We're kind of in like
People are actually kind of like surprised that Rodgers is even going to play in the game because he has like a broken toe still. And it's just
he has a
why even risk it?
He got that a while ago, right?
Long time ago, yeah.
Yeah. See,
well, you can't do anything about it. They just have to heal.
Right. That's the wild thing about fucking like professional athletes like that. Like they're just fucking. It's all mental at that point. I mean, it's like you're walking out to hundreds of thousands of people coming to watch you play at the best thing you can, possibly do, and you're putting your body on the line. It's fucking nuts. Like I can't. There's those stories all the time of like players playing with a sprained this or like a broken
leg.
Broken leg.
There have been people who I think it was.
Yeah. I don't doubt it at all.
Terrell Owens. Yeah, I think Terrell Owens. The Eagles were in the Super Bowl one year, early 2000s, and Terrell Owens literally had a broken leg from one of the playoff games, I think, and he played in the Super Bowl and I think he had a decent showing, but legitimately with a fucking broken leg.
That's fucked up.
Like, was it knowingly?
Yeah, him and everyone else knew.
Jesus.
Yeah,
fuck that.
In high school, I was in a hockey game, and this kid on my team took a slap shot like to the leg, and he didn't think anything of it at the time. He played the rest of the game, and he like felt like his knee was hurting the next day, so he went to the doctors, and his kneecap had completely ripped in half because the tendon pulled so hard, like on impact, because the puck hit between his knee pad and his breezers, and it like caused so much pressure that it like pulled the top. It like ripped on the kneecap, and it just split in half into two pieces.
Jesus.
He played the whole game, and like it wasn't even
played the whole game with it like that.
Yeah, the rest of the game, which was like a period and a half or 2 periods.
Dear God. And he was obviously feeling that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he was just like playing completely through it.
Yeah, adrenaline kicks in heavy when you're in sports. Like
right.
When you get hurt, it's hard to necessarily know how bad you're hurt because like your heart's racing so fast. You have so much adrenaline pumping in you.
Yeah, it's like fight or flight shit. Like life or death situation. Basically, like, well, yeah, when you're in those situations, like those games are your lives. It's like, then the next win is just pretty much everything. It's fuck. I can't imagine living that type of lifestyle. That'd be insane. You guys see the shit that happened to what was it, Antonio Brown?
No.
Where I saw this
ran
video.
off the field?
Yeah, ran off the field. Like video or whatever.
Yep.
That's crazy. Now people are saying like some CTSE stuff or I don't know what. Like I saw a little bit of like the backstory where I don't know. It sounded like he was just a little bit off or something.
What happened?
He's had a lot of off the field issues
Didn't
ever
beat
since
somebody?
he left Central Michigan.
He beat a girl, didn't he? He was
I
beating girls for a while.
can't
I have
back
no
up
idea.
that claim.
I have no idea.
I thought I saw that.
But mainly,
Maybe it wasn't.
so there was one hit that happened mid 2010s. Actually, it was probably 2018 or 2017. But a guy named Vontaze Burfict for the Bengals basically blindside hit him, and he was never the same after that. There's been hella YouTube videos comparing his behavior before and after. He's kind of erratic. He's got anger issues going on.
Right.
He's quick to cut people off that have only
Yeah.
been loyal. So it's hard to judge what was there before and what's there after.
Yeah.
But yeah, he quit in the middle of the game.
So he quit just playing NFL in the NFL.
Right now, they cut him after that game.
Yeah.
He said he quit. I mean, it's semantics, but
Yeah.
basically he walked off the field, no
I'm sure
longer
he had a
helping the
reason.
team. They
Yeah.
cut him, and he was, I think it was, he needed 6 catches and 1 touchdown for $500,000 in end of the year bonuses, and then he walked off the field in that game.
Wow.
They were
Incredible.
they were losing by at least a
Jesus
score, so they needed help with a wide receiver, and he could have got his bonuses.
Was it just because
Right.
he
And he's an incredible player.
he got hit
Yeah.
so hard that he just was injured?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, his story, which has changed based on what podcasts or what news sources he's talking to after the fact, is he's going on a media spree trashing his team, which kind of sucks.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that at all.
Yep,
I just saw the literal video of him he literally just throws off his jersey, throws off his shirt, and he's he just runs out of while the game is going on, and he runs off the field waving to the crowd and stuff. And then there was something about something with some girl beforehand on the night before.
Yes.
And she was saying that he was acting a little weird and saying she couldn't follow what he was saying in the conversation and stuff like that, which was scary. It's
you know those celebrities that can kind of say whatever, like Marshawn Lynch. No one really knows what he's saying sometimes. He's just going off.
Right. Yeah.
Antonio Brown is one of those human beings. The thing with the girl is that the Buccaneers have curfew and quarantine prior to the games.
Yeah.
This dude snuck a girl in the night before the game, and then she tested positive for COVID. And she posted on her Instagram and tagged the Buccaneers and said, "Y'all need to test your team."
Jesus.
After she got kicked out of the team hotel for being caught.
Jeez.
That is insane.
Wow.
So she might have spread COVID to Tom Brady and
Right.
Chris Godwin and a Super Bowl contending team.
Right. Yeah, and they all. I mean, when you watch most professional sporting games on television, all of them are masked up. They take the COVID precautions extremely seriously because it's their physical health is the moneymaker.
Yeah.
I think
So it's
their face is the moneymaker too.
Yeah,
What
for
they
sure.
do sets precedent.
And the sponsorships, the advertisements, all that stuff. Yeah.
So exactly.
Yeah.
So who pays the bills, tells them what to do, and there's part of that. The coach. Does the coach need to be wearing a mask on the sideline? Probably not. Do the people in the stands? Probably more. It's
I guess in
terms of transmissibility,
how so? It probably depends across the entire nation, where you are,
I just feel
what.
Yeah.
But
when you have 80,000 people in the stands all breathing on each other, I feel that's a high risk scenario for transmission of COVID.
Well, I'm saying the teams themselves
so
are.
they have to be good examples on the sidelines. It's I feel like they're being told to do it, and that they don't. A lot of them would choose not to.
Yeah, who knows? That's a speculation.
It's my This is my opinion.
Yeah. No, for sure. But I feel like the teams themselves are going through so many airports, and they're seeing they're constantly traveling all the time, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that too.
Dude, the traveling part would be nuts. Have you guys been seeing all the crazy news with all the traveling shit?
Flights being canceled?
Flights being canceled. There was also the I-95 crazy 90-mile-an-hour backup on through Virginia.
Oh yeah, the 14 hours that they were
Dude,
stuck there.
literally 90 miles of interstate.
What happened?
Where people were in their cars for 20 plus hours.
What happened?
Basically there was a snowstorm coming, some storm, and I guess it was in Virginia, right? It wasn't like an uncommon like storm, like it was a big storm. They get like a storm like this, I guess, like every couple of years or like few years, but yeah, I guess it hit and like it started as rain, and then some truck got like hinged like this, jackknifed.
Just blocked the whole road.
And yeah, I guess there was like really little like support by like people were saying there was no like state patrol.
DOT was not prepared for the storm, nor were they prepared for like a.
So there were like families, people with their pets, like just in their cars.
Yeah,
and
that kind of shit can happen.
Dude.
You gotta be ready. Like,
insane, right?
Yeah,
you just don't eat. You keep your car off.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I would do is walk away from my car and lock my car. Go find food.
I saw pictures of people like walking, like basically just ditching their cars and walking. But yeah, I can't imagine having like kids or and like I mean, what the hell do you do?
Yeah, it should just happen.
You're kind of just stranded.
Like, that's where you just gotta figure out what to do and like.
You pull up to the mic.
You just gotta figure out what to do and not like, try to stress about a situation too much.
For sure.
Think like clear-mindedly, and you'll learn from the experience. It's kind of like unfortunate that it happened, but it's good that it happened, and all those people now know that they can like get through that and they're fine.
Right.
No one died.
But it is kind of a failure, I think.
Did no one die?
Like, I really have no idea.
I doubt anyone died unless someone was like.
It was thousands of people. I mean, you got to think about people with like, diabetic issues or like people with like I don't know. But who knows? I have no idea if somebody died or not. But I mean, condolences like to all those people that got stuck out there. It just sounded like a crazy story because like. I was just trying to imagine 90 miles of interstate with just cars that can't move because of like a sheet of ice on it out here, because that could justifiably happen in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah,
anytime.
Yeah,
and we rely on the DOT to put salt down, put sand down. Put like
and it helps for sure.
You
just have to also kind of go into it knowing that like. The risk. It's not like I think a lot of people just assume that it's safe to drive in the middle of nowhere with, in a fucking blizzard. Like it's not. It's dangerous. Like there's snow and ice. It's cold. Shit can happen. Like if you don't prepare for it, you don't or recognize it as that. You should.
Right.
Right. It's just like anything like that. One of the most dangerous things you do every single day is just get behind the wheel of your car and go out on the public roads. It's like that's more dangerous than COVID. Like, I'm sorry, but you're more likely to die getting in your car and driving anywhere than contracting COVID and dying. It's dangerous, and I think we all take it for granted because we're so used to it.
Especially in the winter.
And so when a story like that happens, that's crazy. It sucks for those people. I think they ultimately gained from the experience of living through that and like learning to now then be more like thoughtful about.
It's probably very humbling.
Yeah, it's humbling. I mean,
when you come into contact with a weather like a critical weather situation like that, and you're also you're also somewhere where you have no idea like how far away things are. Once the phone dies. Like, what are you to do? Yeah. If you run out of gasoline, like, what are you to do? It's like, and then it hits like, those like primal instincts come in.
You got to figure out what to do. That's important. You should know what to do. And if you don't, you got to figure it out. And you won't unless you're put in that situation. And like the weather specifically is scary as shit. I've had moments where I'm scared for my life driving in a vehicle. In like an absolute downpour rainfall, like the derecho we drove through, and like when it's a winter blizzard, and it's like that's scary shit. Like
100%.
It's no joke, and that's you gotta recognize it. I don't know.
Yeah, we live with it, man.
Respect it. Like,
Yeah, you gotta respect it.
You don't fly down the road at 80 miles an hour, 75 miles an hour on the highway when it's bad conditions. No one's doing that. That's why people put their hazards on and go 45.
I swear to God, bro. Okay, I got a story.
It's safe.
I think like 2 weeks ago, we had this really bad system come through. It was like slushy. It was a mix of sleet and snow. I think it was like 32 degrees, 31. So right on the edge of snow and sleet and all that shit. But I think like the night or like leading up to it, there was already snow on the ground. Mm-hmm. And I was driving home. It's like a 20-minute drive getting on the Beltline. And I saw the storm coming down. Like, I saw the snow coming down before I left, and it was coming down hard, like real hard. Mm-hmm. This is probably 3 weeks ago, actually. This is kind of a while ago. Mm-hmm. This might have been one of the first, like, earlier snowfalls we had in Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. But, oh my fucking God, dude. This drive home, I swear to God, it was literally one of those moments where it was probably in the top 5. And it was not probably in the top 5 of, like, worst drives. Like, worse than coming back from Hayward that weekend. That was fun. Which, like, you guys know those roads up there and how bad that was. I mean, it snowed damn near.
We were the only tracks.
6 to 8 inches the previous night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just straight.
Fresh snow, and we were plowing through that shit early in the morning. But it was worse than that this night coming home, right? Yeah. I hit the Beltline. And it's like I have zero traction, bro.
You need new tires.
None. Well, nobody did. Yeah, I mean, everybody around, like, first of all, it was probably 11 p.m. Yeah. So pitch black, which is even worse.
Really got into the roads even,
right? The plows hadn't, like, I had gotten out of the road probably a half hour after it started snowing, and it came down hard. And, like, basically it made the roads absolute trash within a half hour before the plows could even hit it. Mm-hmm. And so I damn near went 35 miles an hour on the Beltline for 20 goddamn minutes, and it took like 45 minutes to get home.
Right, because you couldn't go as fast.
And I was basically just looking for ruts. in the fucking ice/snow/slush. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to stay in one lane. It's like that type of shit where you're trying to stay in one lane and you'll do anything you can to not, like, pass anybody, not change lanes, because if you change lanes, you're going into unplowed, there's nobody drives in, like, those other lanes over there. Yeah. Because it's so shitty.
Or even just crossing that middle lane of snow and ice. It's
like, you know when you get those feelings when your heart just starts beating real hard, your stomach kind of sinks and your face just gets flushed, and you just become more focused, and you realize that you're on, like you're driving, and you realize you're driving in conditions that could, like, easily total your car. Yeah. But, like, you have to get somewhere, or you have to get home. Like, you have no other option. Mm-hmm. You're basically just like, fuck. Like, I feel like that's the epitome of winter fucking, or just driving in snow, period, you know?
Yeah, I had that happen. I was on my way to an airport one time, and, like, I had a flight to catch at like 6 in the morning or whatever. So it was like 3:30, 4 in the morning, and I'm driving to Minneapolis, and it's like an absolute downpour rainfall. And there's semis and shit on the road next to me. It's dark. There's not very many lights on the highway between Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and Minneapolis, because it's basically just country fields until you hit the river. And man, that was fucking sketchy.
Yeah, dude.
Like, I was heart racing, like, hard to.
Those are the worst.
Hyper
feeling
aware.
Is the worst. That feeling is the worst.
It's you can't see anything. It was crazy.
Oh yeah.
And I know that feeling.
We also get those torrential downpours out here in the summer, which is basically the same shit.
Yeah.
Where you're fucking,
same storm, yeah.
It's the other way around. Like, you got traction, but the problem is you got no visibility because the rain is coming down so damn hard and your wipers can't keep up.
And you still don't have the best traction.
Yeah, you still don't have the best traction.
So wet.
Hydroplaning.
Yeah.
You boys ever hydroplane really hard?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Luckily, I haven't ever really had too bad experiences hydroplaning, like, or anything like that, because I usually catch it before it, like, I'll notice it happening. I'm like, oh shit, my back's going out, and I just fucking slow down right away. So I don't trust that shit at all.
Key is to
Sketchy.
Don't slam.
Yeah,
Don't what?
Don't overcorrect or overreact.
Don't slam. Oh yeah. Don't hit the brakes really fast or anything like that. Yeah.
Whenever I do that, I just end up letting off the gas completely. If I need to go on the side and on the rumble strip, that's chill.
Right.
But if I slam on the brakes, then I feel like I'm inclined to swerve left or right in case there's someone in front of me too.
Mm-hmm.
If they come up out of nowhere, then that way at least I'm on the rumble strip on the side of the road.
It gets so much
Road.
Road.
Just hit it at the.
road.
Yeah, you guys should hit the swivel
All right.
more often.
Yeah, it's hard.
Sounds good. Will do.
Okay, bet. Yeah. You probably. Yeah, I mean, like, it's sturdy enough, I think. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. No, you're going to Colorado. You excited, bud?
I am.
Dude.
Fun adventure
Yeah.
ahead.
So, like, tell me about Fort Collins, because I've never fucking. I mean, I've literally. Yeah, I want to get to know, like, Colorado, Montana more, because I've really only, like, driven through there, or, like.
Did you drive through Montana to get up to Washington?
The one on top is Montana. It goes, like, Montana, Colorado, right? Yeah.
No, Wyoming is above Colorado.
Montana, Wyoming, Colorado.
Like, Montana's bigger than Colorado. It's like,
Fact.
yeah. I drove through Montana.
And
It was like,
Idaho goes like.
Was it South Dakota-esque or what was it like?
yeah. I mean, it's pretty much, yeah, like South Dakota, like 2/3 of the way through until you hit the western side. And then you start hitting the mountains. I mean,
That's how Colorado is too. There's like an eastern side of the state.
it's more like
western
rolling
side of
hills,
the state.
I'd
Very
say,
different.
than South Dakota. It's because South Dakota's like pretty flat. But yeah, like, how big is Fort Collins?
I think 55,000. So it's kind
okay.
of Eau Claire size, but
Yeah, nice.
right next door is Colorado State University in
Oh,
Greeley.
shit. Cool.
So
Hell yeah.
So Fort Collins proper is pretty small, but yeah, there's Fort Collins, Loveland, where our friend Jesse lives.
Yep.
Which is 5 minutes.
Shout out, Jesse.
Southwest of Fort Collins. So like,
Is
there's a
he
bunch-
psyched?
I haven't even told him yet.
Is it a
This will be
surprise?
next.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Hell yeah, dude. That's
I just
awesome.
figured I'll wait till I
Doesn't
move
even
in and be
know.
like, hey, do you want to hang out or something?
Right, bro. That's awesome. Dude. Oh my god. You gotta
That's crazy.
You gotta tell us about that.
So
Yeah.
Fort Collins is very, honestly, not that different than Madison, to be honest. Very hippie, outdoorsy, adventure.
Bikeable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very accessible.
Like
Very
water bodies and
forward
shit.
thinking. Yeah, I think there's a lake in Fort Collins, but but it's all hiking. Like, there's this place called the Horsetooth Reservoir, which is like, I think it's like 9 mile long,
It's huge.
like stretch. It's literally just
9
a long
miles?
rectangle of water. It's fat,
Damn.
and
It's fucking huge.
It's like hiking
there's
trails.
yeah
and stuff,
hiking
too.
trails. Biking. The biking is straight up and down. Like, it's, if you see someone out there on a bike, you're like, wow, we're at 5,000-6,000 feet, and you're doing this. Like, this
Oh,
is
God.
crazy.
Yeah. You're huffing and puffing.
So in terms of things to do outside, there's a lot going on there, which is
Fuck
which
yeah.
is good.
Dude, that's sick. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you gotta have that. And I feel like that, yeah, that reminds me kind of like of, is it Bend, Oregon?
Mhm.
I think Bend is a little bit bigger, but it's got that, like, yeah, it's like, obviously Oregon is farther out west, but like same type of deal where there's just like people biking, mountain biking all the time, like running. There's a bunch of, I don't know if there's like breweries in Fort Collins,
Big
but
time.
yeah. They got breweries.
New
Like,
Belgium
Mhm.
is
They're good.
like 10 minutes from my house. New Belgium.
What?
Where New
Really?
Belgium.
where it's like founded?
Mm-hmm.
No shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's out of,
That's sick. The fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
damn,
there's
bro,
definitely
what
there's breweries to do. There's
Oh,
hiking,
yeah.
and that's just in Fort Collins proper. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of looked at it
Fort-
on the map, and it looks like,
It's like
yeah, it like runs down, and you got all those like cities, and then like Loveland, and then it comes down into
they're all
Denver.
They're all
Yeah,
connected.
yeah.
They're
So
all-
it seemed pretty close. They're all like,
there's an 8-lane that's, if there was no traffic from like Denver International Airport. So it goes Denver with its surrounding suburbs, and then probably a half hour north is Denver International Airport,
okay,
and then there's an 8-lane. I think it's 8-lane.
8 lanes.
Yeah, so 4 going in one way, 4 going in the other.
Damn.
25.
Um,
Kind of out by
It's
Twin
like-
Cities type shit. Like
Yeah,
I
kind
know
of like that.
like the roads out, those big highways up at Twin Cities.
If
those
there was
4
no
lanes.
traffic, it could take you maybe 40 minutes to get from the airport to Fort Collins.
Oh really?
Yeah, but
That's
maybe
quick.
an hour 15 with traffic.
Not too bad.
There's like
Make it like a
one-
weekend trip. Go
There's
to
a
fucking
$35 shuttle that takes you straight to the airport from Fort Collins.
damn.
That ain't bad.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's nice. Shit. Yeah, dude. I definitely want to come out and visit and stuff, dude.
Got a place
Yeah.
to stay, got things to do.
I'll have to
It'll be
like maybe
sick.
cop some skis or something like
Facts,
that.
we can-
Like, because I
Have you been seeing any of the stuff about the Vail Resorts on social media
No.
at all?
No, what do they do?
Vail Resorts?
Apparently Vail, the company that operates on Vail, one of the big ones, I think it's just Vail Resorts is what they're called, based in Vail. They've been buying up other resort towns like I think maybe Copper Mountain or
Okay.
they're all in the chain basically now.
They're buying up
Vail Resorts.
towns. Like,
just the
like-
lift operations.
Oh, okay.
But they're selling too many. Like, there's no cap on the amount of passes that they're selling, season passes. So if you have the money, they'll sell you a pass. There's no sort of
There's no max capacity.
yeah, and it's take your
Because people aren't traveling. Like, still people aren't like they're trying to get people there or what?
they're just trying to get as much money as possible. They're not
Right.
actually paying attention to what's best for the mountain and for the flow of people. So like you can wait.
That's kind of shitty.
You can wait
but also kind of good
40.
for like
You can wait
skiers.
40 minutes to get on just the ski lift, to get up and down. Like that is
Damn.
kind of brutal. There's all these pictures online on the internet of people just waiting fat lines, and the ski lift system's efficient as shit. Like you can get a lot of people up there.
Right.
Those ones up there, they can be up to 6
So
wide.
it's just overcrowded, is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's too many.
And there, people are
Okay.
getting really pissed off. So you have to be very selective right now in Colorado, I think, of what mountains you hit
Interesting.
for it to be like fresh pow, for it to be like you. Because like when you go to the Wisconsin Dells, the Dells experience is kind of taken away by having to sit in the lines and stuff like that. Like
Oh,
you want to be
100%.
just going.
Yeah.
So we should find a mountain.
like some backcountry shit, maybe
Mhm.
even.
Montana. I was just in
Yeah,
Bozeman.
yeah.
Like a few weeks ago.
Fuck
Phenomenal.
yeah, dude. Yeah,
Bozeman looks like a cool place.
Mhm.
and the snow they get out there up in those peaks is insanity. I mean,
The house we were
Dear
at
God.
got 12 inches overnight.
right? Like it reminds me of like I see these videos on Instagram and shit of like these crazy freaking videos of skiers and snowboarders like up in the fucking peaks with like in the trees just have like 2 feet of like mounds of snow on them and everything is just it's like pitch black.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, there's probably lights up there, I don't know, but it looks insane. Like it looks like a absolute like another world where there's just so much snow everywhere. It's fucking crazy.
Especially up there in Montana, they have put ski lifts up to the very top of. I was very surprised that humans had ever been up there, much less is there
Ski
end of the ski lift up there, because
Right.
it is straight down, rocks up to your waist on either side, like pointed rocks. It looked like you were skiing in the French Alps up there, and these people are flying down.
That's insane.
I've
That's wild.
snowboarded in Colorado, and that was the next level. It's like
Dude.
French Alpine Alps type deal.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, see,
We'll have to hit that.
dude, that stuff's almost like freaky too.
It was
because you're
scary.
you got to be
basically
you got to be
falling.
knowing where you're landing right. Yeah, you got to be like knowing how fast you're going. Make
And
sure you're
you-
not landing on some rock.
You're at 10, 11,000 feet in the air. Like
Yeah.
you're surviving on less oxygen. It takes more energy
Mhm.
just to do anything, much less think about. Oh my god!
Oh yeah,
On
dude.
at a flash second, you could be really screwed.
For real.
So
For real. yeah, dude. I'm psyched though. Yeah,
we should
that'll
we
be
should
sweet
definitely
to
do
come.
some of that stuff.
Yeah, we'll get the squad out there and stuff for sure. Like, yeah. Plus the photographs be insane.
Mhm.
I mean,
Just a good experience overall.
yeah.
TikTok
yeah.
has honestly shown me a lot more about out west, not exactly Pacific
Mhm.
Northwest, but just the West in general. That I'm like,
Right.
oh my
The scenery.
God.
Oh, dude. One of the best things about this country. So expansive. Like I mean, you could.
There's a lot of microclimates and
Right.
macroclimates
You
too,
could. You
like,
could just travel to.
very diverse.
You could travel if you want. If you want to go do something outdoors, like there's something in the States for sure that you could find like pretty much whatever you want to do,
Mhm.
which is like insane.
Mhm.
But yeah, dude, that
We'll have to do that stuff.
definitely. I also wanna, I wanna get a new I want to get a new bike. I was saying to Cole also, I need to get a new like mountain bike because I still haven't got a new bike since the one that I had in Eau Claire when that one got stolen like sophomore year.
Like everybody's bike gets stolen in Eau Claire.
Yeah, it's
and we
bad.
lived next to a pawn shop. I never checked in that pawn shop. Did you?
No,
That's
no.
true.
It was
Could've been
probably
there.
it could have been in there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
$50. I was pissed.
Someone
That was a
just-
nice fucking bike. Dude. It was
someone
like
just grabbed it.
$300 bike.
Walked across the street, dropped it off. Got
Someone
the
took
money.
the
Yeah.
mattress. I had a
Yep.
I
Someone.
had a mattress. It couldn't have been out there a week.
No,
It was
not
only
that long.
2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
It was
Because it was equipped to move. Like the reason it was out there is because I was going to rent a truck at the end
Right.
of that week to move everything. It didn't even last that long.
That was at 504 Wash,
Yes.
right? The sketchy fucking like at the
Who is-
bottom of the
who is
hill.
taking that?
The sketchy little neighborhood right there, dude.
Yeah.
We've had 6 people coming in and out of that house at all times, and no one noticed. Someone would come into the parking lot, drop the trailer, and literally just
Taking
take
a
it.
bed, a whole
Yeah,
bed.
dude.
Yeah.
I feel like it had to have been at night or something when we were all passed the fuck out. I don't know. Yeah, we had some shit go down in EC, like especially at that house. I think on Washington was probably the worst.
I don't know.
But-
People broke into our house.
And at 127, honestly,
I would say 127.
EC,
That was
yeah,
horrible.
127 we put through the ringer, and also
Yeah.
we were in the ringer while living there. So
yeah. That somebody definitely just hopped through the window at like 5 a.m.
Someone cut through the mesh screen and went through the window in the living room, and the front door was unlocked. And I don't understand who would do that.
That's crazy, bro.
maybe if they knew that, because we're assuming that the person who did this knew. We have some people, but not.
We got to
gonna-
tell this
not-
story for the folks that don't know what we're talking
I don't
about.
know.
They took some stuff.
Well, we don't have to like get into the nitty gritty
What
details,
took,
but
yeah.
essentially, like, we were all fucking,
Drunk,
out at the bars,
at
like
the
just
bars.
having some drinks. We all came back. We're hanging out for a while.
It was like
during
4:30.
It
During
was
the night.
3:30 at least.
Yeah, we were hanging out late, and you guys were playing some video games, just chilling, like listening to some music, and up
Our
late.
Yeah, and our roommate woke up at 7
7.
and
Yeah,
walked
yeah.
downstairs, and like all of our shit was gone. Not all of it, but like a decent amount of stuff.
They went through our stuff.
It's like they
Yeah,
were
yeah.
watching us, waiting for us to go to sleep, and as soon as everyone went to sleep, they somehow came in and raided everything, and then
Yep.
like 2 hours later,
Didn't touch any of the rooms. They just stuck to the.
just the living room. It
Living
was
room.
weird.
What I think happened, the reason the front door was unlocked though was because they went out the front door. I don't
Well-
think they went back out that window.
No, we just always had. We never locked that house ever. That's the point. Like if anyone,
That's the thing, though,
the
Claire,
house was
too.
always
Yeah,
unlocked.
like
It was never locked because no one
The
used
student-
their keys.
the
No one
student-
had keys.
Did we have
Yeah.
keys?
I don't
I don't
think
remember
so.
having a key.
we had keys. We had keys. Nobody used them though, because when you have a house of 7 guys, like, it's hard to fucking like lock up all the time because you got guys going in and out
I
and
think
in and
Eric
out. all
did
the
lose
time.
his key the second weekend, so we could.
Really?
Yeah.
Someone.
Couldn't
I don't
copy it.
Someone had long term, did not have a key.
Yeah.
So it's just better to leave it open. But
Yeah, that
still,
was, dude. That was a whack
It
situation,
makes
bro.
you feel very unsafe in your own home when people are just breaking into it.
Yeah,
Like, they
yeah.
don't give a shit about your privacy.
Taking your
It's
damn bike.
very strange.
Yeah.
It's like this is my place.
Right. Yeah, dude. That's always kind of held me back from getting a bike since then. But I feel like now that I'm in Madison, and I was meaning to get one last summer to use on the trails out here, and the trails are so damn nice out here.
They're very nice.
And there is some mountain biking. Fucking trails too. So yeah, I was meaning to get one last summer, but now I just need to splurge on it this summer because, yeah, I miss biking around and stuff. And I would definitely just bike to get around town too. Everything here is like kind of close and stuff, which is cool. But yeah,
You have the top 3 Mexican restaurant within biking distance from you in all of Madison.
which Mexican?
Habaneros, it's called.
Oh yeah, I've ordered from there before, dude. Fire.
Mhm.
Gives me it's bad coming out the back end though. Oh my dear God. I think I got like it was either like enchiladas or like it was like those stuffed kind of like burrito looking things, and they put like beans all around it, refried beans, and like
Yeah.
all the like guacamole and stuff. Like, oh my God, so good. But like
Guacamole sounds delicious right now. No food on the podcast.
yeah, banned food after.
Food is banned.
Fair play.
I mean,
Fair play.
The thing is, I get the hunger thing for sure. It's hard to go. I feel like sometimes it's hard to go if you're hungry. It's hard to go a while.
Just eat before the pod.
We did eat before this, which is good though.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not worried about it.
But I think it sounds a little off in the microphone.
It definitely is weird.
When he was doing it, wasn't he saying it's food? No, bro, it's food ASMR.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Well,
Exactly. Not everybody thinks it's weird.
We service a wide audience here with the podcast content.
Very wide.
I think human sounds are something that no one should ever feel ashamed of or weird about.
Yeah, but the
If
podcast
if I
should
can
be
hear
about.
someone's chewing, I'm gonna turn the podcast off.
Right, but like.
Yeah, I want the podcast to be like a conversation, not like eating food.
Yeah, there's just it adds depth to the podcast.
I think you lose viewership if you eat on a podcast.
Yeah, I'd say so too.
I disagree because there's millions of people that watch mukbang videos, which are videos of people shoving food down their mouth.
What?
But
And
that's
like
not the point.
throwing up.
We're not a
basically.
mukbang podcast.
No, I'm not saying we are, but like that's where I'm saying adding depth isn't something that you should feel ashamed of.
Oh no, I wouldn't feel ashamed of it.
It's like,
But I think it's good to hone in on like.
oh damn, that
what
guy is a
you
real
wanna-
person. He had to eat.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
get
think
it.
they assume
No
that.
one gets
That's-
it.
I think that's assumed that we're real people.
It wasn't anything against you, buddy.
No.
I'm like
ASMR
I'm just
videos.
standing up for it.
ASMR
Yeah,
videos
yeah.
do get views. I'm just saying this podcast we're not a mukbang.
Yeah,
No,
I like.
No, fuck that. That's weird shit.
It does sound.
I actually have never heard of that before. You
gross.
said that word.
Yeah, it's
The
gonna-
videos or the food like.
No, the videos. It's like it doesn't matter. Like it can be any kind of food.
Mhm.
It's just
People
it's
eating.
when someone
Yeah.
eats like 20,000, 30,000 calories.
Oh, those are fire videos. I have
It's
to
like-
say.
Oh,
It's
like
like-
the food challenge.
It'll be
Matt Stoney?
not really.
Matt Stoney
no,
is the
no.
goat.
See, that's not what it is. This is
Oh,
like
oh.
You're
this
talking
is
Something
about
different?
when they can hear every time you go.
no, yeah, that it's like I'm gonna shove 12 double cheeseburgers down my mouth as fast as I can.
I stand Matt Stoney. I don't agree with this.
I don't. It's not like a competition. They're just doing it.
Okay.
It's weird. Like I
Interesting.
can't, and then it's not good for their bodies, and
No,
they'll just do
I
it for
mean,
views. It's very
right.
strange, but there's a
I guess there's an
people-
audience for that.
yeah. People enjoy watching people doing things,
JT.
so it doesn't really matter.
JT, whenever you're on TikTok, do people pop up that are doing lives and they have a bucket of maggots in front of them or like a bowl
What?
of maggots?
No, never.
They do that for views. They will sit. So they're doing
People
on
do
TikTok
anything
live.
for views, bro. Oh my god.
I've watched it.
What the fuck?
I think I watched one on accident one time, and now they pop up ridiculous
Right,
things.
right.
Shout out to the
The algorithm.
Algorithms
I watched one, and now everyone's lives pop up. Like, there's a dude who will just set up his phone on a bridge and do a magnet fishing while checking his life and be like, "Thanks so much for the sunglasses. Thanks so much for the," and all these things that people are commenting. So it drives up his engagement on TikTok, and all he's doing is saying thanks and throwing out a magnet. Or
What
they're
the
sitting there
fuck,
with a bowl, and
dude?
he said, "At 600,000 likes, I'll eat these maggots."
And he
Just
never
crazy
eats
shit.
them, right?
No, I don't think so. I have never.
Yeah.
They're all Russian, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
The Russian bots. The Russian troll
I
farms.
just think they.
Well, it's a person.
I'm gonna check the video real
If they're
quick. You guys
Ukrainian,
keep
I
going.
apologize.
Hmm?
I'm gonna check the video. Make sure it's still rolling.
Oh, I thought you said it's raining. It's raining.
want a drink?
Yeah, can you grab me a Bud Light seltzer?
Suppose as good a time as any.
We're not cutting it. You guys keep going.
Are you gonna edit it?
No.
No, nothing
No
gets
cuts.
added. We don't cut.
No cuts.
We don't cut.
We don't cut. Here.
Unless
just
it's
an
the
apple.
beginning, because sometimes the beginning sucks.
Shout out to Bud Light.
We're sponsored.
Paul, what is mine?
We're not sponsored. Oh shit, you.
No free ads. We're Barstool. No free ads.
Yeah, can't play music, but we'll drink fucking these in front of everybody.
If they're willing to sponsor us, I'd drink anything in front of them.
Like,
Right?
Except for that bone meal
this
drink
is the same
that
thing.
Mr. Jones, Alex Jones himself pushes.
Oh, dude, I've seen that.
What is it?
He has
Like
his own
bone
line
meal.
of like I don't know. It's meant to be like caveman stuff, like reverting back to the caveman diet, like things that the caveman eat that we have phased out of our diet, like bone meal. Like,
have you guys seen The Liver King?
Like bone marrow or bone meal? I don't know.
That's another thing to just drive engagement. We have never seen him eat it. We only see him talk about it.
I've seen him eat it.
You've seen him eat it
on Snapchat, on the Snapchat scroll thing.
TikToks, he always sets it off. This is what Liver Kid is having, like all this crap. Yeah,
dude, I saw like
he always starts with his pills though. The marketing is very sly.
Interesting.
Yo, plug.
Go ahead.
Not to plug this company at all, but there's a company that sells mud that you mix with water.
Oh, I've seen videos of that.
And they're trying to use it to replace caffeine and like coffee and stuff. So it's like you're supposed to drink this mud mixture for breakfast.
Does it give you energy?
Apparently, but
what's in it?
Matcha?
No, it's like literally mud. It's like different types of like dirt that
really
look it up. It's weird.
Back when we were in high school, clay water was making a comeback, but then the conspiracists, the same people who don't believe that birds are real, also.
Wait,
have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God!
Wait,
it is an entire movement that's called "Birds Aren't Real."
Yeah, it's weird.
Excuse me.
There is a subsect of the internet that it's trolly. But
as is a lot
I think
of shit.
it was CNBC or someone brought on a fake leader of Birds Aren't Real, and he's sitting there and they're doing a digital interview on Zoom, and he's sitting there, he takes a drink and he just throws it up on the camera, like national television, CNBC, because they wanted to talk about this movement called Birds Aren't Real. Yeah. It's the idea that no bird is real. They are all robots controlled by at least the government. It's like a Big Brother thing.
Oh, I think I've heard of this.
Yeah.
I've heard of this somewhere.
Yeah. And the problem is that older, more accepting people to that concept have actually believed it in the past.
So people actually believe this shit. Like they take it seriously.
There's a half that's trolling, and then there's a half that I'm sure also believes that the Earth is flat.
The trolls probably started this shit, and then like going after
danger to society,
the weak-minded. like birds aren't real, bro. How about you talk to some bird watchers who like?
Or
they're members of a secret conspiracy.
Or people
you can't
hunt and
kill.
Dude,
it goes so deep.
Do they think the bird watchers? Yeah, they think they're part of the Illuminati or something.
Or are government agents. Government agents aren't government agents. Bird watchers are government agents because they're making sure that the government is looking at the right things.
Right. And the people that hunt and kill birds to eat them, and when they like kill them and cut them up and their meat and blood and stuff is like they're they're also there to kill the implanted real birds that make it seem like the birds are real. Because if people are like, oh, they hunt, then the birds, they're killing real birds there, but that's not the birds that are all fake, right? And the robots.
I don't follow.
Well, you have to plant some bit of truth.
This is a facet to the conspiracy I have yet to hear.
You have to plant some bit of truth in the view of society for them to not look at the bird and just know, oh, that's the government. So we have to think as a society that birds are real. So you have to plant people that go and hunt.
Can I interject?
To add to that.
Feel free, Paul.
At any point.
Why do you think I don't think this shit was happening 10 years ago. Why do you think this stuff is happening nowadays? Are people going off the rails because they're on Twitter all day? Like, they're getting fed like this shit from social media?
100%. I think we don't really understand. Like, we see in the media that, oh, you should stop the stealing from school trend. Like, the trend there's a trend on TikTok. This is a caveat.
I feel like there's been some bad trends on TikTok.
Exactly. That's the point, is that people are kind of realizing, oh my God, these trends actually have a genuinely bad influence on the internet.
Like the challenge with the milk crates and with the tower, and you climb on top.
Yes.
And like people were like breaking like
those plastic
over
milk
the
crates
over the summer.
That if you walked on your bare feet, it would be like walking on a Lego, much less falling onto them.
Have you seen seen those videos, Jake?
No, but I know what those milk crates are.
And
I can imagine.
No way, you haven't seen those, dude. There were some viral videos of people literally like What was it?
I thought someone was behind
It's
the
your
curtain.
shadow,
It was
Jason.
like,
I thought someone was behind the curtain. Like,
anyways, there were some there's
hope you
like
got
some
that.
viral videos of like people like they stack basically these milk crates on it like up like as like a ladder
the goal
up to like 10 feet tall or some shit, and
Get
you
as
try and
high
get
as
to
you
the
can.
top, and people obviously fall. And like there was like
You
a
could
video of like
seriously hurt
a
someone.
woman like cracking her head open and stuff.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was really bad, really bad. But yeah, go on with the bad
So stuff like
influence.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
like stuff like that is just like I don't understand how that.
Or there was one where like people that were encouraging other like high school students to just like whoever could basically trash the bathroom as
Yeah,
bad as they
yeah.
Steal
could.
stuff.
Like
right.
shit in the sinks.
Where
like,
does that shit
replace
come
the
from?
Soap
Devious-
with oil.
Or devious licks. Like, what's the biggest thing you
Weird
can
s-
take from a public place?
Yeah, it's
Right.
like weird. It's like why are we encouraging
This shouldn't
Poor-
be happening, right? I mean, like
Or people licking ice cream containers in the store, opening off the lid, licking it, and putting it back. That was a trend.
That's gross.
what is this coming
Someone
to?
went to jail for that to make an example of if you do this, you will get prosecuted in this way. And I think it was over a year
Wow.
for going through.
I wonder what the exact charge was for that, for something like
Publicly licking cream.
that. Yeah, I have no idea.
Nah, you can't get charged
I'm
for that.
gonna
That's
say,
a human right.
There's an entire industry that would be in jail for that.
All right, back on topic, boys.
Sounds like a good topic to me.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, but I don't know, dude. Yeah, that's like it's a crazy fucking pattern of events that have been happening over the last year, 2021. And it's weird to say that we're in 2022 now, by the way.
Can't even believe it.
I every time I write 22 on the year, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like,
How often do you do that? Because
fucking weird. Huh?
Do you write 2022?
I don't often write. I mean,
Well, just writing 2020, going from 21 to 22, it's always weird.
no, I know.
Right.
I'm just giving you shit.
Oh. How often do I
did- yeah.
do I write
The date.
the date?
Yeah, it doesn't happen often, but enough that
I
it
do
is
it.
weird.
I do it at work a lot.
I think for most.
Do
Do it
I
at work
think I do
like
it
every day, pretty
Really?
much.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
Having,
yeah, most
having
people
my
don't.
job has taught me what, I don't know.
I do it every day, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I work with a guy who comes in every day and says, "What day is it?" And so I can't tell if he's testing me or if it's. I don't know. It's making me remember the days better. Like having to remember for him.
That's geeked, bro.
It's funny.
Yeah, maybe it's this testy, making sure you're awake, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, dude. Fucking congrats for both of you guys, honestly. Getting new gigs and shit. That's dope, Britt. Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, gotta have it.
Oh yeah.
It was,
At
a
this
long,
point.
it was a long 6 months without it, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
No and I combined unemployed for over a year.
well, it hit a. I feel like
But not.
the timing of it, honestly, just with the world and everything going on. I mean,
It was a
plus
tough
you were
time.
getting back from your international stuff.
Mm-hmm. It was a tough time to be in the job market because so much was up in the air. Like
yeah.
people were coming out of like online only or remote only stuff.
Mm-hmm.
People were about to leave their jobs because of the vaccine like mandate for some positions in some industries. Like I was applying to jobs that had 400 or 500 applicants, and even when I was looking at internships in the previous years, there would maybe be one or two. So people are trying to go horizontally with their careers as much as possible right now, which makes
Right.
it hard to get a job.
I also
Extremely.
I kind of
Wait.
don't
Sorry.
see.
What do you mean by What do you mean by horizontally?
So someone
Sorry to cut you off.
You're good.
So someone switching industries or someone taking the skills that they learned at one job and going to a completely different position. Because like,
Oh, okay.
so say
Instead of
you
moving
are you're a marketer,
Yeah.
you're a marketing manager, then you're a CMO, chief marketing officer.
Mhm.
Like that would be a vertical
Right.
because that's on the career path.
Oh, okay.
But
Like
if someone who's in
promotions
IT
versus-
support
yeah.
suddenly goes to taking or testing in a COVID lab, that would be a horizontal change because
Right.
they're no longer in their industry. They're no longer using their transferable skills.
Makes sense.
So people are
Okay.
just trying to bounce around because of the craziness of the world.
Right. Trying to figure out what they want.
Mhm.
Maybe looking for a better increase in
Like
pay.
someone who works at, say, like a diner or something.
Mhm.
When it's takeout only, those people don't have jobs, so they're forced to
Mm,
move outside the skills that they have been trained to use.
that's true. Yep.
So that takes up a job if someone takes a shot on them.
Yeah. Yeah,
Also,
you explained that very well, yeah.
I also have a hard time believing anyone that's like, oh, there's no one out like getting jobs and stuff, or like everyone's hiring. It's like, yeah, when I was applying for jobs, like I was still getting the door slammed in my face on jobs that I was more than qualified for. I just was like, it's not like they're just handing out jobs.
Sure.
But I think the most important thing is that people just like have patience and don't. I don't know. I kind of am happy about the situation of people moving horizontally instead of vertically. I think that that's how we should do it. I think that.
Well, we're seeing a huge shift.
I think that bringing new perspectives into positions that like, that person coming from IT support is moving into like a CMO position or whatever. You're gonna bring.
What a jump!
You're gonna bring more.
Chief marketing officer.
Yeah, you're gonna bring a different
That's true.
perspective.
Hell of a jump.
Than the person that would be moving vertical from the position below it, and like that's important.
But what about those people that have been professionally or like trained? So like, what about someone has an IT degree, who's a fresh IT grad trying to get one of those jobs? Like, So someone who's a fresh IT grad can't find an IT job, then they go to testing in a COVID lab. Doesn't that take a job away from a biologist?
No. Because unless the biologist is there applying, like it's an opportunity that was like filled. Like I think that shit happens for a reason, kind of like.
On a macro scale?
To a degree, yeah. Like if that happened, it's probably okay. I don't think that it necessarily took a biologist like job position away from them if that person was a higher qualification. Now what's harder is like companies will not hire the best. They won't hire the best person for a job if, like, for say they aren't an American citizen. Then a company can say, we don't support, or what's it called, sponsor. Like a company has to sponsor someone that's coming from another country to work for them and say that like we want them to work for us, and they have to pay certain taxes and shit to have that employee. So
25 grand a year, I think it's at.
So like just because you're the best employee
25K.
for the position doesn't guarantee you the position. It's like ultimately what's best for the company.
Right.
And I think in the long run, like that'll work itself out. But it does.
I don't know if it will.
It is sad to. I think it's sad to see.
It seems pretty
that.
xenophobic, to be honest with you, because depending on what border you come in on, and depending on what way you come in, you have different opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, and I think a lot of the times, like, I'm thinking a lot of when you were talking about that right there, Jake. I was thinking a lot about the mindset of the company, right?
They're protecting themselves.
Right, like you're
They're
talking
not taking the risk and paying for it. They
Right.
just don't want to pay for it.
Yeah, and I think that's what I've
is weird.
I think that's what one of the big like takeaways I've really got out of the past couple of years of being in the workforce, like, is just like the mindset of the company. It's like a very kind of interesting
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
topic in, like, especially in America,
There's
where
business.
capitalism is so. I mean, it's what makes. What is it? Democratized capitalism or something like that. Like capitalist democracy.
Yeah, just the world that we're living in.
Right, but it's like I've come to realize how powerful that structure is within this country, and just by being exposed to like the workforce here, and how like I don't know.
There's a lot of rules. There's a lot of like.
It's weird, man. It's weird.
There's a lot of decisions that are made that like don't have justification, but you're supposed to just look the other way because that's how they're done. It's where'd that power come from? Like, why does my opinion fall on deaf ears?
Right.
You know? Like, if I was a hiring manager for a position and it was like an upper level position and there was 50 candidates and the best candidate for the job was this like amazing person and they were great at what they do and the reason I couldn't hire them was because the company that pays my bills doesn't want to pay for them to become a U.S. citizen and sponsor them. That would piss me off because I did my job in finding a person who's more than qualified and capable to do this job the best and is going to benefit the company the most. So it's like the company won't like allow that the whole point of hiring people is to get people who are good at what the role is that you're trying to fill. And you have someone that's like more than capable, but you're going to hold that position off for a U.S. citizen because you don't want to fill that shoe for someone that didn't come from our country. I think that's selfish and fucked. And like, I don't like, it's hard because it's one of those situations where the company is saying we're going to give our position to someone who's less qualified, which means they're accepting that they're going to not benefit from that hire as much as they would if they hired the person who's more qualified. But they're also not paying for that. So it's like, where's the positive, where's the negative in that transaction?
Well, it just takes longer to find a qualified candidate at that point. Then it's not necessarily that they don't find one or that they will, because companies aren't in the business of filling it with subpar prospects.
Right.
So it
And
does
the standards,
take longer.
yeah, the expectations are always being pushed, right?
Mm.
Yeah, the master's degree is the new bachelor's, right? I mean, that's been fucking. I've been told that like so many fucking times.
What?
The a master's degree nowadays is the new bachelor's, like in terms
I see
of
what you're
what
saying.
it used to be back in the like I don't know 30 years ago or I don't know how long, because of just like this.
The standard of being professionally educated.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
there are
which
countries-
is arguably a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, in some perspective, because it tells. Well, I guess I don't know. It's hard because there's so many factors that go
Yeah.
into the educational system. But I guess you could argue that more young citizens are getting college educated, so the standard has to be raised. But at the same time, it also makes it really, really fucking hard to pay for that.
Yeah, and you know what doesn't raise with that? The fucking income inequality.
Yeah. Yep.
That's gotten worse,
Yep.
and it doesn't show any sign of going in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
We're just getting fucking worse. To be middle, what do you call it? Middle class?
Middle class.
Middle class is not like, there is no middle class. There's no
Right.
fucking middle class. It's
Right.
either you're rich or you're poor, and it's like damn near that point.
They want you to own nothing and be happy.
Like, the statistics are right in front of us, and
Yeah.
that's
No, I
why
feel
they
that.
call
I
it the
feel that.
1% holding
Yeah.
95% of the fucking wealth in the country. It's like,
Well,
it's so easy to be poor. It's fucking dumb. It's so dumb. We're just ran by it. It's like
I think a lot of people are waking up to that now.
nobody's encouraged to get out and make more money because like they want to benefit the society. No, it's like people are trying to live. They can't afford to fucking feed themselves or their family. How are people going to have the encouragement and drive to have children if they can't afford to spend rent and pay for their own food on them for themselves? If the normal person like us that went to college can't afford to get a job with our degree and pay for ourselves to live and eat food, how are we supposed to find a family, find a wife, make a child, make more than one child, and continue to build our society the way that we have forever?
Right.
We can't. And that derives from the fact that like there are greedy ass people in this world that hold that wealth away from most people. And it's like, you can't continue a society by dropping pennies on your people and expecting them to build that. It's like you just can't. It's weird.
No, I agree. I mean, I think that you bring up extremely relevant points, and I think those topics have been brought up more and more and more in these past few months. I think there's a lot of people out there who are living that experience that you were just describing right there, who are hurting bad.
Probably
And
hurting worse.
extremely. I mean, like, it's nowadays, you really got to be grateful, right, for the things you have and, the people that are around you and being able to get some heat in the house,
Mm-hmm.
I still think about fucking Texas and that storm they had and shit, where, you know, they had a fucking snowstorm. What was that, last year? A couple of years ago, and
That
people
was last
were dying in their houses because
Well,
it was so fucking cold and they couldn't, you know. And it comes back to
That full circles back to what we were talking about earlier, too, in that, like, people were not prepared.
right.
They had too much faith in the system that they were in, and they didn't realize, they didn't take into account the power of nature, and
Well, I
they were
think-
not
yeah.
prepared.
Well, it's not even that. They can't be prepared because
Well,
if
yeah,
you
they had no infrastructure to
if
get
you
there.
look at the states in the South, look at how many snowplows they have.
Right.
Look at how
They
much.
didn't even know.
And I didn't
Natural
think you were
disaster
you.
plan.
I didn't think you were saying it was their fault in that stance. I think
JT thinks that Texans deserve what they got.
No, that's not true at all. I'm just saying they didn't know. They didn't think
No, I
about
think
it.
I think it's an ode to the fact that humanity just like isn't prepared and for like what
We're not
For-
prepared for earthquakes here in the Midwest. Like if
Right.
shit went down with earthquakes, it would fuck us up.
Well, I
like
think-
people
yeah,
would die
yeah.
with the amount of like non-infrastructure
Well,
we have for that.
We're not exactly on any sort of tectonic plate lines or
Right.
anything like that.
Right.
well,
so-
just for an example.
It's just
Yeah.
I'm just an example of like, I mean, at least the Texans could have figured out that they were susceptible at least a little bit to some cold spike or cold streak. You know, it's like
I
the
think-
weather
yeah.
above them is constant. Yeah, we're not on a plate. I'm just using it as an example.
Well, I
of,
think
like,
what
we would get
what
fucked
we
if we had it.
experience in the Midwest and what pertains to climate change a lot of times, and you saw this actually, well, fucking in December with the tornadoes
Mm-hmm. That was
in
wild.
Illinois.
That was wild.
100 people fucking dead.
Well, not
like-
even just in Illinois, across the whole heart of our
whole
country.
Midwest,
Yeah.
Midwest, really.
Kansas got shit on.
And
Tennessee, like-
yeah, that's what it does out here. It's flooding and tornadoes, heavy winds and snow, like this shit.
I've seen personally
Um,
firsthand some pretty wild tornadoes. Like literally, I'm looking at a tornado. Like I've seen them in person, and
Yeah,
they're terrifying. They're terrifying.
my it's a crazy story. I don't know if I should tell now, but there was the 97 storms that went through La Crosse. It was basically like 90-mile-an-hour straight line winds. Took out like my family's house, and like the roof was basically blown into like my parents' bedroom. Like it was insanity. But yeah, that was like 20 some odd years ago. But yeah, shit like that. I was like 1 year old. But that actually, it's funny because I think that actually I had an extreme fear of storms when I was a really young kid. I think up until I was like, honestly, probably like 7 or 8. There were times in elementary school where literally like a storm would hit, big like thunder, lightning. I would just get terrified. I would just get fucking terrified. And I think that's probably like what. That was probably one of the causes, I think, was like that storm back then when I was just a little baby. Just a little baby and like not knowing what's going on. The fridge is open?
The fridge was up.
That's probably me. My bad. Damn it. My own house.
If you don't mind Venmoing me, because that's going to cost me on electricity.
Oh,
Thanks.
really?
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Thanks, bud. I wish you lived here.
Retweet.
but you're leaving me.
Yeah, let's add a fourth roommate. Look at that over here.
Me and Paul would go bunk beds, I think, probably.
Oh yeah, for sure. You could fit in my room.
We've slept on different beds in the same room, so we might as well just stack them this time.
May
I still
as
have
well.
I still have all the furniture dividers that we use to keep all our clothes hanging.
I've got the air mattress. Dude, that shit. Yeah.
Worked out well.
Man, that thing, after you do not want to sleep on an air mattress for 6 months, though. I'm telling you, don't do it, folks, because your back is going to be you're going to be in a bad place. I had to stretch a lot. I mean, I was waking up a lot of the time, and I'd just be like, God damn it. It's just like sore, you know, because it's just like not that much sport, but it worked for the time, right? It was fun, dude. Honestly, like coming back from Washington and just going like straight to the house with all you guys, it was a lot of fun. I mean, and I really had nothing else to do because it was kind of like the period of time that you just went through, just chilling at home too, where I just kind of came back after that, and I was like, I just kind of want to hang out, you know. But pandemic wasn't there. It was just kind of hanging, just chilling before all the shit storm.
For real, Matt and I think our birthday was on some sort of weekday where we were both busy. So we're like, all right, we'll celebrate on the weekend. So March 13th rolls around or whatever. That is the weekend that at least everything in Eau Claire shut down completely.
Yeah, it was like mid-March.
That 3-month mark where just nothing was. It was takeout food, and you limit your exposure to other people. Like,
right.
Wild. Especially we were in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, which is basically Canada. For if you are anywhere more south than us, you understand that is Canada. Like we were walking to school in -10.
Yep.
Walking to school.
Well, going over the bridge is one of the coldest places
top 10
in the
coldest
country.
places in America.
Yeah, going over the UW Eau Claire Bridge. Does it have a name? Is it just called the bridge?
You don't even know, Paul? Not a true alum.
Fuck.
I don't know. It was on Letterman.
It was on Letterman?
The bridge at Eau Claire was on Letterman for one of the coldest places in America.
Yeah, it's insanity. I mean, that wind, bro. That wind is just like, yeah, it's insane.
Would anybody like some whiskey?
Oh, Jake's popping out I'm good. I'm good on the whiskey, but you tap it off there, sir.
Yeah, I'm good with my Bud Light sours.
Good with the sours.
Your booze.
Hope everyone out there is having a fantastic Saturday evening or Sunday or whatever morning.
They're only allowed to watch this on Saturday and Sunday.
Hope everyone out there is having a great morning, afternoon, evening on whatever day of the week. There, I covered it all.
How all-encompassing.
Covered it all.
It's just 24/7.
Oh God. So
People
no,
are gonna be watching this at 4:00 in the morning.
Jake's yelling.
Wait till he realizes that the mic barely picks it up. It's nothing but a mumble.
Yeah, you see the little.
Yep.
They can probably hear it. These mics are pretty sensitive.
They are.
Folks are filming in the living room, or I guess office/living room. But
The downside to an open floor plan is that you can't tell what part of the house that you're in.
It's office,
True.
living room, kitchen. It's all
yeah,
of it.
yeah, we got everything going on here. You guys have no idea. Behind the tapestry, we got the kitchen. We really threw this thing together to make it the three-peat on the podcast.
I kind of want to show people, but that defeats the purpose.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't remove the background.
It's a secret.
All right, Jake, get in here.
Yeah, hold up.
Hey, why don't you check the video? Make sure it's still rolling.
Oh, it's rolling.
Okay, cool.
Sweet.
So, Noah, where do you want to be in 10 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? What do you want to do in that time?
I don't know. To be honest, I really like the industry that I got into.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah,
The
dude.
data engineering stuff is crazy.
It's super interesting.
in a bit over my head here, but that's also a good thing because a lot of the other prospects I was looking at was more like desktop support, desktop engineering stuff, which is perfectly fine. Just not something that keeps me wanting to go back every day. But this stuff I'm swimming in so much stuff that I need to put my head to the grindstone,
Dude.
learn it all, and I come away with some hard skills. So it's the perfect situation.
That's
And
awesome. And
so-
that industry is also like insane too, because it's literally the future in terms of, and it's, I mean, how new is it really? I mean, it's damn near like, I mean, I guess there's always been data,
But
like inventories, but I guess the technology itself is always upgrading. So it's like, it's
10 years. I would say 10 years is how long this stuff,
Right.
especially the stuff that we're doing now. We're using.
you can't compare the stuff that
using-
was going on in the 80s to the stuff that's happening now.
Oh, correct.
Yeah.
There's an entire. So basically, my grandfather used to work on a computer back in 70s, maybe even
Damn.
earlier. And one computer for like IBM took up an entire floor,
Jesus.
and it had 400 kilobytes.
He worked on those?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, bro.
So like 400 kilobytes.
So those are like,
It is.
It's literally
racks
nothing.
on racks
Yeah.
on racks for 400 kilobytes, which I don't think is a song these days.
right.
Which is not one song.
Clip that.
Dude, so those are probably like literal like engineer guys that were like more mechanically probably tuned.
Definitely.
That were like, in there actually working the
They
gears.
figured it out.
Like, yeah, like
Those people figured it. The people that came before us, they figured it out.
Right.
We're
They
figuring
set
out
the
what to
foundation.
do with it.
Yeah.
It's very
good way to put it.
So like my grandpa working
I didn't know
with
that.
400 kilobytes worth of data,
I didn't know your
and
grandpa did that.
I'm like transforming 19 petabytes, which is
I've
which
never
is
heard that word before.
That's
What the fuck?
It's a lot.
How many gigs?
it is 20,256 gig iPhones worth of information.
Wait, say that again?
So the equivalent to the amount of data that we're currently ingesting. Here's a little bit of alpha.
A little bit of alpha.
We're currently ingesting and managing enough data to fill 20,256 gig iPhones.
Wow.
20,000 of them, and we will never touch. We'll never host the data. Shout out to Amazon.
Jesus
don't
Christ.
never
It's all
touch the
it's
data.
all like
Split across
a lot of servers.
39 databases and countless servers because
Because everything's interconnected now.
Yep.
Right.
Interoperability is like
Right.
the buzzword of the year right now.
Yeah.
Last year was blockchain.
Operability?
Interoperability.
What does that mean?
So basically, rather than having a machine that goes A and B to communicate with each other, it goes A, B, and C. Because if C goes down, there's at least a way for A and B to communicate with each other. So it's all about making there's kind of like a fail-safe system. Like there's so much complexity that there's a fail-safe if something were to fail catastrophically. Like there's the same way that businesses have backup generators if the power goes out, there's alternative ways to move the data if something were to go down. So it's not catastrophic for the business. Because like if a business that was making some big deal, like if they needed to move the tech on that day and they had no other way and their A to B failed, they're SOL. Like they're screwed.
Right. Yeah, and I think nowadays, I mean, the internet encompasses fucking everything a human does. Those gigantic corporations and those gigantic, businesses that are running a lot of, a lot of their throughput on the internet, they're going to want to spread that infrastructure out so there's no one point of like failure, right? So yeah, that
everything
interoperable thing.
It's only a positive if everything can communicate with everything.
Right.
At least in this context.
Sure. That's super cool, dude.
Are there like fail safes for information, or does the internet, as long as there's one like system running, is the information out there stored somewhere, or does it just constantly live in like a realm of just like moving through lines?
A more dated example would be like just how people used to send mail pre-email. Like there's a bunch of different sources. There's a bunch of different people writing letters to everywhere. So as long as those pathways, which technically the internet is just a web. It's literally the World Wide Web because it's just an entire web of interconnected machines. So half of them could go down. The internet is still up.
Right.
It's like the internet's basically a brain for us. It's like a brain that we share.
The internet is an all-encompassing term like the economy. There is no the word economy means absolutely nothing. There's no statistic tied to the economy. The economy is just like this
a figment of our imagination.
Yes, it's this big sentiment. Well, the internet is kind of the same way. Like just
Stocks
because
and
two computers or two systems can't talk to each other, that doesn't necessarily mean the internet is down.
It's kind of like another life form, to be honest. And we're kind of
I'm
just
seeing it
we're
as
just like
that,
kind of like
yeah.
operating like on the outside, sort of like pushing the buttons.
Yeah, I feel like I think we use the internet as like kind of like a collective brain, like for humanity,
sure.
like for humanity, you know? Like we talk through it, we put the information in it, like we share the information in it, we store the information in it on all of our collective hard drives.
Right.
So like we all sort of are securing it, while we use it. It's weird. It's like Noah was saying, like it's like a brain.
Right.
It's like a web. It's a mesh, and it's exactly how our neurons are like a mesh.
They're
talk.
just firing back and forth to each other the
Right.
whole time. Just
And
because
that makes
part of
it
your brain's
alive.
that doesn't necessarily mean you're dead.
Right.
Yeah.
So
No.
you think you're going to be working
Oh,
within these materials for the better part of your life?
I would like to, for sure.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a lot of.
What do you think we're going to see? What do you
We'll
think? What do you
see.
think you'll
You-
see?
you
what
know
do you,
how-
what do you speculate
It's
you'll
too
see
hard
in
to
terms of like the data realm? You know.
You know how every once in a while you'll be talking to a friend about beef jerky, and 25 minutes later you check your phone after having that conversation, and look, there's a beef jerky ad.
Yeah.
And the source of that ad is kind of up in the air. Like we've seen Cambridge Analytica use data. I don't know if
Right.
you guys have. There's a Netflix documentary out there about the using of data and how it can be predatory. I think it'll be even more succinct than that. Like right now, data is surrounded by what have you bought in the past? What might you be likely to buy in the future? What might something that you buy be? What is a similar product to something that you buy that if they push to you, you might also buy that?
Mm-hmm.
I think it will come down to the point where your shelves know when they're empty based on usage. There's a lot of stuff like
Right. Everything's going to be tracked. Everything's going to be.
I think if we're not careful, the whole thing is it's permission based. For all this data to be sucked in, there's new regulations coming out of California and the EU that stop a lot of that stuff that say you need to be able to have an opportunity to opt out from giving up your data.
Well, Apple's big on that too now.
Apple is one of the biggest data sellers.
Yeah, no,
in the world.
But they're like at least now giving people the opportunity and chance to like they'll notify you if like you.
that was like a new
download
upgrade they made,
Yeah,
right? To like
it's
their
a recent thing.
side.
Like if you
You kind of have like
yeah, you download a new app.
you can like set your
download Google.
set your
Ask app
advertisement
not to track.
Yeah.
Do I
yeah.
you
It's
know
pretty
well beforehand
pretty
like
rudimentary, but it's good they at
They
least
did that.
integrated it.
right well they did that like before that the app would just it would just start tracking like it would just there was no option that the user didn't get to choose.
Right.
So I think that as long as the user gets to choose, I think that's important for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's weird. I stand on both sides of that problem because at some point, like, it's nice. I do see the benefit of the tracking because it can be beneficial, but it also like there's a hesitancy to that because it can also overtake and run.
I think it's a matter of like kind of trust, right?
Yeah.
It's because this thing, I mean, it's not like any one of us has like control over
Right.
where it's gonna go, right? All of us humans, all of us, kind of people working in either the internet realm, the data realm, whatever it might be. You are literally kind of just like a cog in the machine. I mean, it's
Dude, I have
to put it bluntly, but it's interesting to kind of speculate on where this stuff might go, how it even came to fruition, and what our role as humans is in that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's interesting with us because within our lifetime we're going to experience so much is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
That's the point I wanted to make is like us being young as we are, we're going to experience a lot in terms of the technological realm.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
I think it's funny that we think that we're like the most advanced civilization ever.
it is right.
And
Isn't
like
it
we
funny?
might be.
Maybe, yeah.
I would say
And there's those pyramids, man.
well, I would say on planet Earth, I would say technology wise, defining it as the way that we define it with cords and the internet and cables and auditorial receptors and all these things that are technology, anything that's technology, CNC machines, things that print on pieces of stone, that's all technology. That's all like computerized electrical technology. I think that we're pretty advanced and I think that we're good at that.
Mm-hmm.
And our data storage options are like limited to what we've made of them. And that's where I feel like, was there an ancient civilization that was wiped out by whatever cause? That like how
Like the Library of Alexandria.
right? What happened to all of our information? What we had civilizations of humans on this planet for long periods of time that we have nothing, we don't know anything about them.
It's an interesting point.
So, like,
there's been these mass
what
extinction
happens,
events.
right? What happens to our knowledge when something like that happens? Like when we all wake up tomorrow and Yellowstone has erupted and we're fucked. Like, what happens
Isn't
to our
that
knowledge? Like, what happens
That's fucking scary.
to our advancement in technology if some shit goes down and every human on the planet gets wiped out by 25, random stones flying through the universe, and it just happens to line up and hit the earth and we have nothing to do about it? Like, what happens to our knowledge? Do we go back to like to a civilization where we have to start from square one? What happens to all that information? Because we don't have any information from a couple thousand years ago, and I don't think that's because that there weren't advanced civilizations. I think that maybe their record keeping systems were flawed in a way where once they were gone, and like we have no way of recovering it. And I'm afraid that I need to know what kind of security the internet holds for retaining our information, because we don't make books, we don't make maps, we don't do that anymore. We've put our faith into the internet more for record keeping than we did prior with like this map that we put on the wall that was made 100 years ago. Maybe a little less, maybe like 80, 90 years ago this map was made, and like that's a killer map. You don't see people making maps like that anymore, and it's like they found value in recording information on paper to a degree where they put a lot of effort into it. And we do that now on the internet. We put a lot of effort into it. But what happens when that skill, like when that goes away? What happens to all of our information? It's not stored on paper anymore. It's stored in stone. It's not stored anywhere but in this like cloud. So how secure is the cloud long term?
Well, I think honestly, we just have to hope that like our civilization of humans is just better than all of kind of the previous ones. Because, I mean, we all know that there's incredibly smart people out there, way smarter than us, like geniuses, and probably many geniuses that have thought about that problem many times over that you just said. So I think we just kind of have to put faith in, our fellow humans, that somebody, honestly, like, to be blunt, that someone's smarter
figure it out.
That somebody smarter has already figured it out. I mean, while you were talking about those things, I thought about those mass extinction events, and that reminded me of actually this news article I think I saw, I don't know, a month or so ago about NASA scientists or like SpaceX scientists or something figuring out ways to develop rockets to hit incoming asteroids that could cause a threat to.
I think it's huge. I think
Earth.
it's
Isn't that insane though? That like,
and
there's,
you don't. And the biggest thing is you don't want to blow the rocket up. You want to divert the rocket, or not the rocket, the asteroid, whatever it is that's coming at the planet. The worst thing you can do is explode it into a million pieces, because now you have a million pieces coming at your planet at the same speed, like. With the same amount of mass, they're just spread out. So you need to like deter objects away from our planet. And I will say our planet does a good job of doing that. Also, we have a solar system that protects us. Jupiter is one of the biggest planets in our solar system, and one of the things about that is that Jupiter basically is like a big shield, and its gravitational force protects the planets on the inside.
Huge.
And the sun also will suck stuff into it, but it's just those happen case chances where shit's coming right at us that we do need to be able to protect ourselves a little bit more than even just our magnetic field does as a planet. So it's like we have these systems in place on a massive solar level to protect us, but we pretend to be advanced and do nothing about thinking about that kind of shit. Like we're so focused on what's in front of our face that we don't think so far into the future that like that's important. We might as well just like start thinking about it now and figure it out in the next 100 years, because in 1,000 years we might need it. And after developing that technology for 1,000 years, because we thought about it now, we might be able to protect ourselves. Why not do that?
Noah, did you learn anything about how either like the mainframe of like the internet or like data could be like possibly like stored in terms of like a really like bad catastrophic event happening. Like have you heard anything about like people figuring out ways to like somehow protect that technology?
Yeah, there's insurance policies that you can take out. There's the whole interoperability thing comes into
True.
play here because
You can send it somewhere.
the cloud
right? Yeah.
the cloud is more dispersed than the idea of we think of that a cloud is. Like, we think of clouds right above us, like it's untouchable, it has all of our data, but actually a little bit of the internet is stored in a bunch of different places. It's backed up. There's a website, there's an entire service that you can go on where you can look at a website on a certain day in the past. So
I've heard of that.
There's
Yeah.
an archived system already in place. Obviously, it can't.
I've seen people use that with RuneScape.
Yep. They'll go back to the way that a web page looked on a certain day in a certain
cool.
past date.
Where's that information stored?
They have servers.
That's like a lot of data. That's where it's like, where's it stored?
Well, the data being stored is
It's constantly being improved, right? I mean
and it is in essence ones and zeros.
right.
So it
Which
might
is
the
wild.
websites that are being intaked and archived might not necessarily have all the attachments or the pictures, because the pictures and the attachments are what adds. Like whenever you do downloads, the reason it costs so much to download is because there's so many ones and zeros. But if you're just taking snapshots, it's little bits of information. It's just like a splash page of what it looked like. You're not necessarily going to have the ability that you did went back in 2005 to go on the Google search as it was in 2005, but you're at least going to be able to see what it looked like. And I mean, that's better than books. Like we have books from the colonial times that we can't even frickin' read because they're so destroyed. At least in this case, data archiving has gotten to the point where there are backups across the world where it would have to be like
a global disaster.
asteroid hitting the world, and then we would have no use for the internet, so why worry?
Exactly.
I think I just thought of a solution to our problem, and I hope someone who's far richer
Tell it to
than
the
me.
Space Force.
SpaceX, Elon, whoever.
Are you listening?
Listen up. We need to prioritize starting a base on the moon that is quite literally a computer or a system of computers that just bounces our information around on it. That just like, data archives.
Why do you think we need this?
Because
why?
if for some reason some shit goes down and we can't protect our planet, it'd be nice to have all of our information saved on our moon so that whoever.
Isn't that what Elon's trying to do with Mars? He's basically his proposition is like.
Yeah, but why go to Mars? Like, why go all the way to Mars? Like, why not? I've never understood this, and I'm all
Isn't
about.
the moon just kind of too tiny?
No, not for
anything that happened to the Earth would impact the moon. So
not like a computer. I'm just saying like. We have to.
It's a good idea.
We have to store data.
Yeah.
Like archive data.
Off planet.
Yeah.
If something were to happen,
why not?
Right.
And if humanity comes out of whatever it is, which we probably will, because we were born from that's what we do. We overcome. We adapt and overcome. Like at least that information is saved, so potential future cultures and civilizations could possibly find it. Even if like worst case scenario, all shit on the planet is fucked for thousands of years and we slowly come out of it. We should think about maybe off planet keeping and archiving information.
That actually brings to mind something that I think it was probably NASA scientists or something. They back a while ago, I don't know if it was 50 years, 40 years, I don't know, a while ago, but they shot like I don't know, either radio waves, some type of wave frequency into space that contained like images of people drinking water, people eating food, people talking to each other. It was like a collection of images that people back in like either I don't know when it was,
Hey, so you don't see how important that
it
kind of shit is?
Well, it kind of owes to the fact that people have always been thinking.
There's no indication that it got anywhere.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah,
Really?
It's
No,
funny how our genius minds at the time
Yeah.
thought things like people eating food and the sounds of that were in for.
Well,
were
people have.
good-
I think that
good information.
Yeah, it owes to the fact that humans have always kind of thought of that. They're always like even however long ago that was, people were thinking like, hey, like, I don't know if it was like an attempt to communicate or if it was just like an attempt to like, if it could be like if something were to ever happen and it did get picked up somehow. I don't know if it were to hit a planet somewhere. I mean, it's just off chance, but it just like, it's just kind of an interesting, like,
It's cool that
it's an interesting action that people took
Yeah.
that kind of goes back to what you're talking about with just like, storing shit. Like, I don't know. It's
Storing information is one of the things that I think is our, like, how do we do it?
mm-hmm.
How do we do it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is sort of on a different topic, but one of the things that's been burned into my brain, and I think I burnt it into my own brain. I was told this one time, and I forget who told me it, but one of the most amazing...
Check the video.
One
Keep
of the
going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
One of the most amazing things about humanity...
Go on.
One of the things that makes humans human, quite possibly the most important thing and only thing that makes humans human apart from other living organisms, is our ability to tell and understand stories.
Yeah.
And
I think we talked about that last
it
time a little
sounds
bit, yeah.
very basic, but like you have to think about it, because what makes that a beautiful thing that's so unique to humanity, the sharing, the me thinking of a story, me telling the story, you understanding you receiving the story, you coming up with your own understanding of the story. That's something that's so humanistic, that's so human of us. We do that with everything, and that is data, information, and storage. And
it is humanity.
I see it as like
it's the Matrix.
That's saving us. That's what we are. Right. We are storytellers, and like coming from that, it means to me that like the best thing we can do for our future generations is to preserve those stories. And that's what we're doing here today. That's what we're doing on a podcast. That's what a podcast is storytelling and talking and understanding. And like, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
That is beautiful.
How do we record and store that? Because I have this incredibly complex, amazing brain, and you have this incredibly complex and amazing brain. And we all do. And I can't even, like, I'm limited. I'm limited in how I can communicate the thoughts in my head to you.
Sure. Yeah.
Through verbal language.
100%.
Or if I was sitting here speaking 9 languages and you could understand 9 languages and we could discuss, like, because like Russian is more of like a emotional language, and our language is a little bit more like deliberate and intentional and has like a concrete structure to it, and it doesn't have to deal with the inflections in our voice as much, but like I'm still limited as to how I can convey thought to you. And we've always been trying to like figure out how to convey information to each other and retain it. And our memories are shit. Like no matter what people think,
100%.
like
we've been talking about dementia a lot, and like our grandparents and stuff.
It's like
shit just happens.
We're just not built for retaining information. Our memories aren't. I'm not a scientist, but like I haven't studied this, but our memories aren't like. You sometimes you remember things incorrectly. It's like we are limited to our capabilities of memory. Honest to God, my iPhone is like light years advanced in retention of memory than my brain, even though my brain's light years advanced in terms of like problem solving than my iPhone. So it's like we've devised ways to retain information, but they're short term. They're short. Like, I'm really worried about that. Like, I can only teach so much to the people that come after me. And even at that, I'm limited at my capabilities of vocal language and actual, like, understanding and passage of knowledge. But, like, I think technology has the capability of being better than that. How's it going to last? How is it going to persevere through detrimental annihilation?
I think we can't just. I think
we
just can't worry about it.
No,
me and
it
you.
has to happen and has to come.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think no, I 100% feel what you're saying in terms of like the importance of it. But as with this podcast, as with what myself, you, and Noah all do in our lives and everyone else out there, I mean, you just got to keep going, right?
Yeah.
It's like as long as you just keep going and doing what that is. And I think the beautiful thing also about the internet and this conversation, I think it's a tool that kind of like it spreads you out as a person, right? It kind of like it's a sort of tool that kind of allows you to spread your story and to tell your story across the internet, across this web. It allows you to kind of like take your soul and kind of split and like share it. And it comes back to like that interoperable thing where instead of the individual, right?
Like a piece of you's floating past and through space.
Well, right. Like the individual is just kind of, it's like that connection thing. We're all so much more connected these days.
Yeah.
And I think the more that humans can keep kind of just going and doing what they love to do and share stories more.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the conclusions that I've really come to is the importance of just talking and having conversations and getting in deep, right?
Yeah.
Getting into ideas that are like hard to discuss and sharing experiences that are also hard to discuss but very, very like important.
Yeah, I like what they talked about in that documentary we watched about fantastic fungi. And if anyone doesn't know,
fungi,
again, weird,
right?
Yeah. See, and that's the thing. Like you corrected me on an auditorial response to a sound that I made, and it's crazy that we are able to like receive information on so many different like sensory, like neuronic, like ways. Like like you equate meaning to the way that I'm presenting myself physically, the way I look, the way I like act, and you're also interpreting what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is just like weird vibrations of sounds coming from my neck that I'm telling like my body to do, and you're like interpreting those sounds as a certain like meaning.
Communication is weird, bro.
Yeah, because like we all speak different languages. Like a Chinese person could be speaking Mandarin or Chinese or whatever language, is their native tongue, and they could be sitting next to us like we are here, with their whole heart telling a story about something amazing. And if you don't speak that language, like you can't. You can kind of get some cues based on the way
no one knows a lot about that.
The way they're saying it, but you don't. Yeah, like when I was. Yeah, exactly. Like we've both studied abroad and spent a lot of time in like different countries with people that they're people. They're just fucking people.
Right,
they're humans.
Right.
And they'll be speaking to you in their native tongue, and you all of a sudden realize that like you can't retain the information they're saying fully because you're only picking up on their body things and not this weird like it's cool that we're able to understand each other, period. Like however language develops and transitions between cultures and tribes, like the fact that we're able to share ideas with like seemingly random noises, like to someone that grows up in an indigenous like a click type of language where they're like that, like they would never understand English.
Right.
I can't understand the click.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we're still able to communicate. That's amazing. Look, why is it so different?
Yeah. I mean,
the internet's great for solving that problem too,
Yeah.
with translators and stuff.
Right.
Like that's huge. The fact that we're able to use translators and like
and I mean, honestly,
learn new languages.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Right.
We're gonna. That's one of the things that the internet's given us so much push forward and advancement, because now all of a sudden you have civilizations across the entire world that are able to communicate with each other based on like the internet being able to process faster than our brain and solve these translations and stuff. And you go, what is this person saying? And you type it in, and then boom, you can see what they're saying. Like that's technology has benefited humanity so much by doing that, because, and it all cycles back to what's the thing that makes us human? Storytelling. Like everything comes back to that. Like if you just dive into anything, it's like stories have to be told for information to be passed, and you cannot get around it. I've not found a way to get around that. And that is so precious.
Yeah. No, it's important, dude. It's
Sorry, no, I've been taking up the mic.
no, yeah. Jake's hogging the mic over
We
here.
need 3 mics. I'm gonna get a 3rd mic. It's gonna be my mic. It's gonna be mine. It's fine.
Honestly, not a bad idea. I support that idea. Got to get a complete new audio interface. Got to fucking rework the whole shit. But it is.
Look, folks, we're moving up in the world.
We
It
are-
doesn't fucking we
We
need more options.
Well, it's
Sponsor us. Sponsor us anytime. Just
For it.
hit us up.
bringing enlightenment to the world. But
yeah, you want to help out the boys. You want to share information. You want to make knowledge more accessible for more people.
we're all
at
about
any
the
time.
positivity.
Hit us up. We got you. You got us. We're all about growing together.
100%.
Pass it off.
Yeah, no, for real. I mean, it comes back to storytelling. And I think that's one of the main reasons that is why like it's important to do this as much as you can, because this environment alone,
We're recording.
it doesn't the conversation alone, it doesn't really happen unless unless that situation this situation comes up. But
I have to pee, but I'm gonna leave
I think-
you. I'm gonna leave you a note.
yeah, I think Noah, you
do you have to go?
gotta. I think we're gonna cut it here, but
Real quick.
dude, this
Real quick.
conversation was dope though.
Real quick before we cut it, and I want Noah's opinion on this because he has some more information retaining like code and shit like he understands. He understands like the technology behind what it might take for this feasible reality. So I'm gonna switch over quick. Paul, I'm gonna hop on your mic.
I think we're gonna cut this. We're gonna cut
This
it.
is the end.
Yep, we're gonna cut.
Oh, it's over.
Yeah, unless you got what? Can you make it quick? Can you make the question quick, possibly?
Yeah, this will take less than 5 minutes.
Yeah. Shoot the question.
All right. So
Let's try and make it quick though.
yeah. So basically, I really want to know. So they created that thing. It was like Minecraft 1-to-1, right? Do you remember that? Like the Minecraft 1-to-1 world where they made like a Minecraft version of the planet, and they took the dimensions of everything that we know, and they like coded it down so that one block was like a meter or whatever, and like they built a planet. So that's like a huge data file, because it's like the whole world. So like you could like go across the whole ocean. It would take days to fly in creative mode across the whole ocean, because it was like
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Right.
They made like the geographical distances in our world translate to the Minecraft world.
Yeah. Okay, so they did that. And so that is like that like all of that data, let's say, fits in this square as reference. It's a huge database. It's being accessed by different people, yada, yada, yada. Where is it stored? It's stored either in the web or on a hard drive, right? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's being stored in a web or on a hard drive. But, like, let's just say you take those pixels, like Minecraft speaking, where it's blocks, and you start, like, rendering them down into more realistic visual representations of reality, kind of like how, Call of Duty does, where you get texture packs that are like, shit looks real.
Minecraft has texture packs too.
Right, but I'm saying, like, you've now taken that, this is 100% of that data, which is a lot, and then you've made it exponentially more data by rendering texture packs to make it look more real. Okay, so you've got, like, a huge amount of data. What do you, like, I feel like we're at the limit of our capability to retain types of information. Like, a computer has to keep growing in size. Like, we've shrunk it down to a point, and they're coming out with quantum computers where, like, a 1 and a 0 can be a 1 and a 0, not just a 1 or a 0. So like, if you wanted to retain the information of someone's brain living 1 day's worth of time, how much data would that be? And how unrealistic would it sound to do that for everybody, everywhere on the planet, every day? Like,
Whoa.
Where would that information be stored?
I don't think we're there yet.
Like, yeah, and, like, how do we get there? When would we get there?
I think you're talking about, like, mapping out, like, insane, like, because I know,
It's
like,
a lot of
the neural
data.
networks in the brain is, like, you're talking.
We have no idea
Yeah,
what the neural
that's
networks.
uncharted
We
territory.
can see that they are talking to each other. We have no idea the language, so we can't exactly tell. Like Elon Musk, I'm sure, because of his Neuralink thing, I'm sure he thinks he's like SME, subject matter expert on how much information we'll actually require. But it would be big news if we found out a quantifiable amount. And also the reason that you can store an entire world on a Minecraft server, which means that other people are connecting to your server, so it's like a tree. So basically you have one server here and everyone wants to handshake with your server, so they create the connection. That's why you can see the world. It only extends out, I think it's 1,056 blocks. So the entire world is not rendered at any one time. It's saved basically on paper, and only when you reach a certain, like when you go 100 blocks in one direction, it's rendering 1,000 blocks in that current direction. It's not necessarily rendering
an archive of information.
Not necessarily an archive,
like
but
the tree.
But if it has been explored before, then it is recognized. It's basically like ghost code. So it's not currently being utilized. That code's not currently being run, but it's been explored before. So therefore, those features will be the same for the next person that comes across that part. So it's a lot of data to hold a one-to-one Minecraft to real life world, but it's not necessarily that much, considering that there's probably only 200 people going in any direction at one time. So they only have to keep track of 1,000 blocks for 200 people.
Because not many people probably
It's
want
not
to take
7
that much.
billion people.
Yeah.
There's only a couple hundred people that probably want to spend the time walking through that world.
Yeah, Minecraft server has like maximums in terms of the people. We have 7 billion people. So if you're trying to map the brain capacity of 7 billion people,
That's a fuck ton of information.
Maybe in a couple thousand years, right?
That's a fuck ton of information.
I don't think it'll ever be happen, because like you have.
But it's happening.
It's the universe.
Like, how? How?
Jake's having a brain explosion.
It happens every day, and we don't even question it.
All right, let's wrap this up.
But yeah, I appreciate.
All right,
Yeah,
this has been fun. Let's do the shake.
Peace out, all.
Peace out, guys.
Well, yeah.
Thanks for. No, I'm gonna fucking miss you. For real.
I'll do one digitally or virtually.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Zoom in.
I mean,
All right.
air, I'm gonna say bye again. But
Peace.
Bye.